Well, first of all, I want to talk about some breaking news, but something just came to my attention that I think that you also should know about. In a headline by the Times of Israel, it says Lieberman says Israel won't allow new Iranian front on Golan Heights. And a number of years ago, maybe I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, I came to you with an article indicating that it was Iran's goal to put 100,000 soldiers on Israel's northern front, meaning the Golan Heights. Well, with the advent of the Syrian civil war and their presence in addressing this has become more of a reality than ever before. And in a meeting in Moscow, Defense Minister Lieberman told Russian ministers that they would not allow this to happen. So the situation may be starting to get a little critical, and we'll have to keep an eye on what is going on and see if Iran tries to bolster their position in the Golan Heights, and they're kind of doing it through Hezbollah. But it's going to be interesting to see whether or not Iran tries to bring troops of their own in that area. Now, certainly Israel said they wouldn't allow this to happen, but you know what? There's near 200,000 missiles pointed at them that Hezbollah has brought in at their hidden Lebanese base, and I can see that being a possibility in the Golan Heights as well. It's always puzzled me why Israel has allowed Hezbollah to build up an arsenal of such a magnitude. I've always questioned that why in the world haven't they had a little shock and awe of their own and put the fear of God in Hezbollah by putting on an all-out attack on them. And I realized that in retaliation that Hezbollah would probably shoot a number of rockets into Tel Aviv. But that day is coming either way. And, the more they build up their arsenal, the worse it's going to get. But I just thought I'd bring that to you, but that's not really what I wanted to present. This just came in. According to Haaretz, the Israeli administration is working with Washington on a possible visit by U.S. President Donald Trump sometime in May. As many of you know, Mr. Abbas is going to be visiting Washington in early May, I think it's May 3rd, and speaking with the president about upcoming possible peace talks. Now all of a sudden, that Mr. Trump is now considering following that meeting to go to Israel and talk with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu about the peace situation. Who really knows what's going to take place? Right now that's up in the air, but Mr. Trump has said time and again that one of his main priorities is to bring peace to that region. And that would start with the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and how to bring peace to it. And you should also know that talks have been ongoing behind the scenes, so we really don't know how far along they are. But these are formal meetings that will actually take place with the leaders. And here's something interesting that you should know toward the end of this article. It says if Trump indeed comes to Israel towards the end of May, his visit will coincide with several key anniversaries. On May 21st, Israel will mark Jerusalem Day, noting 50 years to the reunification of the city in 1967. Several days later, June 1st, is the expiration date of the presidential order signed by Trump's predecessor, Barack Obama, freezing the implementation of a law which requires the moving of the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem. Until then, Trump will have to decide whether he will renew the order or whether he will abstain from signing it, thereby allowing its implementation. During his election campaign, Trump vowed to move the embassy, but on assuming office, he decided to wait, partly due to pressure by Arab states and partly due to concerns of Israel regarding an escalation of the security situation if such a move takes place. Well, I don't see him moving the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, but certainly we should take a look at the month of May and see exactly what's going to take place and what comes of these meetings. Even though the Bible does say that it's most likely that the leader that will bring peace to the Middle East, and with many, including Israel, will come out of the old Roman Empire or the revived Roman Empire today, and that's considered to be the European Union. Anytime the leader of the free world comes to Israel in the name of peace, you should keep your eyes open. Certainly at this point in time, the only ones that have even had any type of success at all in the area of peace in the Middle East has been the United States, and that has been limited at best. But right now, Mr. Trump is the peace broker for the Middle East, and we'll have to see what he does. And if you don't know the Lord, today is the day of salvation. Don't put it off. The Bible says it's appointed on a man once to die, then the judgment. 150,000 people will die today. The Bible says that the vast majority will end up in a burning hell. I wouldn't want to wish that on my worst enemy. So I would certainly encourage you to make that decision today and be serious about it. Simply put, I would just ask the Lord to save you. And the Bible says that he will. So I would take that and definitely make that my next prayer. And you Christians, you need to get a copy of my Tribulation Period Survival Guide. As I've said, you can go down to the description of this video and you can find the link that will take you to either the free version, which is written in 9 different languages. And again, it's the very same book that you can get as a paperback as well, that you can hand your lost loved ones. You know, as I've said before, if I were you, I'd get a dozen of these things. Make that investment and give it to every one of your lost friends and loved ones. It'll be one of the best investments you've ever made. And you know, the best part about this is this book actually tells the gospel of Jesus Christ. And it's a great guide as to what's going to happen once the rapture takes place and the tribulation period begins. And who knows, they might even get saved before the rapture, and certainly before they die. That has happened using this book, and I believe it can happen with anyone who will use it as a witnessing tool. But I would encourage you to go down to the description section and to click on the link and get a copy of this book. Well, this is Terry Malone with the Calvary Prophecy Report.